Welcome to Taiwan Report News Brief, news and analysis from Taiwan. I'm Donovan Smith. Up today on the program is a mixture of yesterday's program and today's program. The audio did not properly record, so, sorry about that. But I cut out about half of yesterday's articles, which is a bit of a shame because it was a big show. But up ahead on today's program, food safety is on the mind of the government. Should we worry? The World Health Organization praises Taiwan, but the World Medical Association slams the World Health Organization over Taiwan. Got that? President Tsai rules Twitter. Land use law loses controversial amendment. Fines to be increased after Taiwanese reporter for Communist Mouthpiece tells Donald Trump, "I'm from Taiwan." The NPP is reportedly in discussions on cooperating with other parties, and a court blocks efforts to halt the Han recall vote, and a date for the recall vote has been set, and I was wrong about that. And of course, up first, as always, the coronavirus crisis. In Focus Taiwan, Taiwan confirms 22 new COVID-19 cases, 21 of them from a Navy ship. Taiwan confirmed 22 new COVID-19 cases Sunday, 21 of which involved people on a military ship that sailed to Taiwan's Pacific ally Palau in March, according to the Central Epidemic Command Center. The latest confirmed cases bring the total confirmed cases in Taiwan to 420. Continuing with Focus Taiwan, social distancing, the new norm with vaccine far away, Taiwan VP. Vice President Chen Jianren, an epidemiologist by trade, feels social distancing will become a way of life amid the COVID-19 outbreak for at least another 18 months, the time it will take to develop a vaccine. According to a transcript of Chen's interview with the Daily Telegraph, posted on the presidential office's website Sunday, Chen believed mankind won't get rid of this virus totally because it is highly contagious, with many mild or asymptomatic cases, and can be transmitted through droplets and contaminated areas. Chen suggested that as long as people live in a self-limited way by cutting their social contacts in half, a semi-normal lifestyle could still be achieved. Continuing in Focus Taiwan, foreign visitors in Taiwan granted second 30-day visa extension. Taiwan will grant a second automatic 30-day visa extension to foreign visitors who entered the country on or before March 21, based on the ongoing impact of COVID-19 coronavirus-related border control measures and flight bans. All foreigners who entered Taiwan on or before March 21st, 2020 on a visitor visa, landing visa, or through a visa waiver program, with the exception of overstayers, will receive the extension automatically, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a press release. The total period of stay cannot exceed 180 days, the ministry said, adding that the conditions of the extension are subject to change and may be adjusted as circumstances require. In RTI, the headline reads, Tsai hopes to see Taiwan achieve 40% self-sufficiency in food. President Tsai Ing-wen says she hopes to see Taiwan produce 40% of the food it needs. Tsai was speaking Friday while inspecting food reserves in Jiayi. And continuing in the same vein, in the Taiwan News, Taiwan Premier guarantees nation's food supply. Taiwan Premier Su Tseng confirmed the nation's food supply was sufficient and there was no need to panic on Saturday during a frozen pork storage inspection at New Taipei Industrial Park. The premier has been checking National Animal Industry Foundation warehouses to ensure there is enough domestic livestock and poultry meat for the next 6 months. Now, this is very interesting that both of these two, the two most powerful people in the country, are out inspecting food reserves. Now, probably this means that they're just simply being cautious and making sure, personally, that we are going to be fine for food for the immediate future. Now, and of course, probably they did this very publicly, and both of them did it to calm people's nerves. I suppose there's another explanation. I think it's unlikely, but they personally may be worried. Continuing into Focus Taiwan, WHO praises Taiwan on COVID-19, but no change on participation issue. An official of the World Health Organization on Friday openly praised Taiwan for its handling of the novel coronavirus outbreak, but reiterated the agency's position on Taiwan's participation. The health authorities in Taiwan and Taiwan CDC deserve praise. They've mounted a very good public health response in Taiwan, and you can see that in the numbers. Michael Ryan, executive director at the WHO's Health Emergencies Program, said in a press conference at WHO headquarters in Geneva. However, moving on to Merco Press, the headline reads, World Medical Association regrets Taiwan exclusion from WHO and condemns politicizing health. In a letter to WHO Director General Tedros, the leaders of the World Medical Association, WMA, say the WHO's failure to listen to early warnings from Taiwan about the COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with its decision to ignore Taiwan during much of the SARS crisis, were errors that led to the world paying a high price. Dr. Miguel Jorge, president of the WMA, and Dr. Frank Montgomery, chair of the WMA Council, write, the COVID-19 pandemic has illustrated with terrible consequences how wrong and damaging for global health it is to exclude Taiwan from unrestricted and effective participation in the World Health Organization. They urge Dr. Tedros to allow a delegation from Taiwan to attend the next World Health Assembly, adding, we urge you to make such a step and not to allow the WHO becoming involved in any more political games. On to Focus Taiwan, the headline reads, President pushing online democracy through tweets. President Tsai Ing-wen saw the number of her Twitter account followers surge past 1 million earlier this week as the social media platform has become a tool to strengthen Taiwan's participation in the global community, she said Friday. Taiwan wants to engage with the world, and social media gives us a free, open platform to enter the global conversation. Pandemics have no borders, but fortunately for us, social media transcends distance as well, Tsai said in a pre-recorded video released on Twitter on Friday. Tsai's Twitter milestone came Wednesday, a day after she posted messages wishing people a happy Songkran festival in Thai and English. As of Saturday, Taiwan had reported 398 COVID-19 cases, including 6 deaths. Now, it goes on to say that Tsai wasn't always an active Twitter user. Her Twitter account was idle for many years before she reactivated it on January 15th, 2017, 9 months after she took office, due to intensifying Chinese efforts to isolate Taiwan internationally. Now, she's used Twitter to reach out to, for example, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan, and he responded. Now, what's interesting in this article also is it notes that the report said 79.2% of those surveyed between September and November last year in Taiwan used social media online, among whom 98.9% used Facebook, 38.8% used Instagram, and only 5.6% used Twitter. And in one way that I am very similar to the president, I registered a Twitter account a long time ago and didn't use it until very recently. Taipei Times, regional spatial plans deadline extended. Now, by spatial planning, they're essentially saying land planning. Lawmakers yesterday passed an amendment to the Spatial Planning Act, extending the deadline for local governments to finalize their regional spatial plans and functional zoning plans by a year and 2 years, respectively. A controversial proposal that would have given the Executive Yuan the authority to revise national or regional spatial plans for major construction projects was scrapped. The proposal drew criticism from environmentalists who said that it would encourage development at the expense of the environment and run counter to the spirit of the act. And now DPP lawmaker Gao Jiayu the other day was fined 10,000 NT over bucking the party, and if memory serves, this was the issue. Taipei Times. Bill passed to increase fine after reporter's U.S. incident. A plan to increase fines for Taiwanese who work for political organizations in China advanced at the legislature in Taipei yesterday when a draft amendment to the act governing relations between the people of the Taiwan area and the mainland area passed its first reading. The draft was proposed by a DPP lawmaker after a Taiwanese reporter who works for a Chinese state-run agency on April 9th did not tell a White House news conference about his company, saying instead, "I am from Taiwan," during his question time with U.S. President Donald Trump. Chang, the reporter, is a Taiwanese-born employee at Shanghai Media Group, a state-owned mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party. Mainland Affairs Council Deputy Minister Chiu Choi-jung on Thursday said Chang broke the law and would be fined, or could be fined, between 100 and 500,000 NT. Now, the amendment that is now before the legislature would boost the maximum fine to 1 million. In New Talk, this is a Chinese language report here, and according to this report, Xu Yongming, the NPP lawmaker, he says that the party is negotiating with, as it says here, third force parties and non-KMT camp, the non-KMT camp, to consider cooperation. Now, they're not specific. Non-KMT camp means that they're not talking to the KMT. They're probably not talking to the PFP, and definitely not talking to the new party. Now, it doesn't say who they are talking to. That's interesting. Possibly the Green Party, possibly the Taiwan State Building Party, the Social Democratic Party. We don't know. The big question that I have in mind, which is also not specified here, is are they talking to the Taiwan People's Party? My gut feeling says they're probably not, but they're not in the pan-blue KMT camp exactly, so maybe. I'd like to pay a little attention to this and see if they are or not. All right, moving on to Ketagalan media. Han Kuoyu recall. Kaohsiung mayor vows to fight in court as D-Day looms. And this is by the always solid Kat Thomas. The recall motion against Kaohsiung mayor and former Chinese Nationalist Party, or KMT, presidential candidate Han Kuoyu moved into its final stage on Friday as the Central Election Committee set the recall vote date for June 6th, a date recall supporters promptly branded as D-Day, with the D standing for dismiss. However, with Han's lawyers vowing to appeal a ruling by the Administrative High Court on Friday, which blocked a motion to stop the recall, it remains to be seen how the recall attempt will pan out in the time of an epidemic, not to mention the damage that may be wrought on the KMT and Han's political future should the recall vote pass. Now, a couple of things about that. First, I was wrong. They originally put out two possible dates. It was June 6th and June 13th. And I said they'd probably go with June 13th because of the coronavirus, give it a little bit more time to pass. I was clearly wrong. The other thing that's very interesting about this date is that it is Saturday, June 6th. Saturday in Chinese is the 6th day of the week. June is the 6th month, and the day is the 6th. So if you have any trouble remembering this date for the Han recall, just remember it's 666. Now, moving on here to a quote from David Fell. He's an academic in the UK. How the KMT will handle the recall vote remains to be seen. However, as Fell noted, the party is in a difficult position, not least because during Han's election campaign, many of his ardent fans, known colloquially as the Han Army, signed up as KMT party members. After the defeat, the party wants to look like it's learning from defeat and making a new start, Fell said. The recall vote serves to continue the 2020 election, making it harder for the KMT to work on rebranding itself after its 2020 defeat to convince voters it really is learning the lessons of defeat. But Han has his core of passionate supporters, and the KMT can't risk alienating them either. In past shows, I talked a fair bit about this. About Han's supporters being drafted to sign up and what that might mean for the next KMT chair election, which is in May of next year. All right, that's it for the program. All the English language articles will be up on Taiwan Report, our website, which is report.tw. Remember, the fastest way to get this show is to subscribe to it on YouTube and hit the notification bell. Subscribe to it on your favorite podcast platform, or be sure to get notifications on our Facebook page. All right, look forward to tomorrow.
This has been brought to you by the Taiwan Report. For more content like this, become our patron at report.tw.
哎呦，就是那个台湾狗啦，最喜欢我的台湾狗了。